Welcome to the Beyer Brothers, the Beyer Dynamic M88. I'm biased, one of my favourite mics for many years. First released in 1962, can you believe that? Still in production, but there have been a few changes, I think some cosmetic, and then the later one more than cosmetic, and people might be wondering if there's a difference. I've done a bit of research. I don't know if it's true, if it's accurate, because I just got it from the web, but there's a version that I didn't know about, actually. So we have it introduced in 1962, uses a Hostafan kind of polyester diaphragm, which is very light. A significant change, it seems, around 2003 was the use of neodymium magnets, and I can hear that because the later one and a Frankenstein, which I've got, have got a higher output. The one I didn't know existed was the limited anniversary edition. I've seen photographs of it, and it's much like this, but with in the photograph it seems to have limited anniversary model around there. So that seems to be a remake. The features of all these M88s from the website say extended frequency response with a very soft presence peak, which I know I can hear. Exceptional bass reproduction, which it does have. High gain before feedback, as far as I can tell. Integrated humbuck coil. I think a lot of mics have that. Maybe they didn't in 1962, so it should reduce hum pickup. High SPL handling capability, so it can handle loud noises. Seems to me. Rugged construction. This is kind of a springy steel, and it can get deformed if dropped, but it tends to spring back. You can take the top off, I've said in other videos, and with a rubber mallet. If this bit gets deformed, you can kind of push it. It does give, so you can kind of mold it back to shape. Don't drop it. The new one is much tougher, and I'm not sure about that. I've never dropped one, but I imagine it's not going to be so easy to put back if you do drop it. So what we're going to do then, I think, is I've got a few of them. I'm going to go through them in age order. I don't have the limited and I don't have the classic. And we'll just have a look physically at what they're like. I'm going to go through them roughly in chronological order as best I can. I'm not certain about it. The first, I think, the oldest I have is this. The reason I say that is partly because it had a two-shell DIN connector, and this is the Beyer Dynamic Replacement XLR, and you can see that the barrel's kind of shiny. I think the limited edition might have copied this era. It did say it went back to the early days. The next is the one I've been using all these years, which is like this. Has the XLR fitted chrome, I notice, or compared to the other one. You can see it's more of a matte finish. The next, similar to this, but with a black housing there. Of course, this one did come from the gentleman, so I don't know if that's original, whether it's parts he got from an old one, I don't know. Here's another of this kind of middle era. This one is in absolutely superb condition. Looks as if it's never been used really. Excuse my arthritis in it. This one is the Frankenstein. It's been back to Beyer in Germany. Chrome again round there. Here are the two that we got from the engineer, and I've had the choice of. Don't know if you can see that the Frankenstein has got a narrower body. It's narrower than any of the others, and also these. Where's the mic? Sounds like brass to me, not that I really know. And this one, it's much more resonant and almost like zinc or something, or aluminium, I'm not sure. And finally then we have the TG. Sounds like brass compared to mid-range. You can possibly see the grill is thicker. I have a feeling that causes issues with breath. And you can see that the XLR is not protruding. When I sent Frankenstein in for repair, they sent back the parts. This is then the capsule. No neodymium magnets, it's an old capsule. Got a couple of rubber pads around the side there as it fits to. And this. My suspicion, I think I read somewhere that it gets its bass response by kind of like a porting, like a loudspeaker. And I think this possibly fires into the body, and it uses the body as a sort of resonating chamber. I'm not certain about that. I read somewhere. I think maybe I can hear it because it has got that warm, old school bass, which sometimes with porting you get that. Obviously it's one cycle out often, which gives the bass a softer quality than certainly than the Earthworks. This is the grill, the new grill, and you can see it's just that. And it had underneath it, as does this one as well, had underneath it foam. These have no foam. They have this fine grill and then another kind of mesh grill underneath, which I prefer. I think sound-wise we'll do the sound things in a moment. So there we are. Okay, let me see if I can keep this together. I've ditched the Rode because I ran out of inputs. So one of these is going to be any one of them will be the speaking mic. Let's go through them then. This is the Frankenstein, new capsule. I'm going to compare it with the oldest, which is the N, not the C, N, but it's been converted. This is the oldest one. As you can hear, I'm going to put it away a bit because you know the Beyer M88 proximity. There it is. Ooh. So I'm going to move it about here. So I'm going to very sweet at the top there. Typical M88. It does sound slightly different. This is the sweetest of the lot. Don't know what its history is. It's the oldest. Maybe it's tired. Don't know. Going back there. Excuse me. Going back to the Frankenstein. Of course, it depends on how I do it. I don't really know if I can hear much difference up there. I think maybe this is a bit more extended and a bit sweeter at the top, but it's very close. Obviously, you can hear that this one's got more bottom end. And this one doesn't have that much. Going on then to this one, which is kind of the middling, I'm going to call it the classic era, well, I shouldn't use that word, should I? Because their classic is different from mine. But this is kind of early mid era, so they're whatever. This is one I've been using for 30 years. And now we're on this one, and the others are off, are they? That doesn't matter. Which one am I on now? This one, that's the one I want to be on. Yay. Going between this and the Frankenstein then. So this is the one I've been using for several years. Let's go between those two we've just done, actually. Hello. Oh, yeah. This is the oldest one that's sweeter, I find. The one that's sweeter, I find. This is mine. That's not quite, if I bring it a bit closer. So that's one that's, I'd say, sweeter. It might be because it seems to have more. It's got a bit more of that there, more of that there, more of that there. I'm watching the meters. Sorry about that. Oh dear. More of that there, more of that there. Or is it that the middle is less? 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 I'm checking to see I haven't got any boost on there. So a little bit of difference there. This one then I would need to keep further away for my average singing, and then I can make use of that. This one I could bring a bit closer, but it's always with the Beyer M88, you don't want to bring it right up to your lips. That's those then. Back on Frankenstein here, which again you can hear even if I get close, has got nowhere near the bottom end of the other two, which it's fine. The rest of it sounds much the same. So if you don't go that low and you don't use that, or you like to put it right in your mouth, this might be a good option. But of course, this is not it's genuine, but it's not. It's been fiddled around with. This then is the TG version. This is the TG version. I've tried to balance them up. This one on the trim, if this one is at 12 o'clock, the others, you know what? I forgot to, I'm going to put this one to the same as this because I've got the same neodymium capsule, which I hadn't done. This one's an oddball anyway. So they're just past 12 o'clock, this one. And then the other two, I would say, are at knocking on 2 o'clock. That's the kind of difference it makes in the output. Go between these two. This is the TG example. And this is a Frankenstein, which I brought down a little bit now. This is the TG. You can hear the bottom end there. So again, this is going to be your average kind of place when you're singing most of the time. If you get loud, of course, you're going to take it away. But if you get quieter and softer and you want the intimacy, you can hear it coming in there. But probably with these M88s, you're going to want to be about there. Difference between the TG and my classic. This is the TG tour group. This is not the tour group. I think I need a little bit more gain on the tour group. This is not the tour group. This is not the tour group. Can we hear any difference? They call me Mr. Manual. Automatic's not my style. They call me Mr. Manual. Automatic's not my style. TG. They call me Mr. Manual. Automatic's not my style. They call me Mr. Manual. Automatic's not my style. Mr. Manual. Automatic's not my style. Mr. Manual, automatic's not my style. Mr. Manual, automatic's not my. Very similar. They've done a very good job of that. Maybe a little bit firmer, but then this one's way older. So, maybe things have loosened up a little bit. You know what I mean? When you get older, right? Watch out for it. Let's compare then the TG to the earlier. If I can get this together. So this is the TG, and this is the sweeter. TG. They call me Mr. Manual, automatic's not my style. They call me Mr. Manual, automatic's not my style. They call me Mr. Manual, automatic's not my style. The TG gonna move on to the sweetie. And this is a sweetie, yes, very clean. And up the top there's something about the top of this one that I like that none of the others have got. Let's see what happens when I go down to the low end. When I go down to I go to the low end. When I go down to the low end. When I go down to I noticed something there. Gonna come to that. You bet I'm gonna come to that. I'm going to come to it, I'll tell you. Going down there, bringing it right close. Going down there, going to the sweetie down there, and she's lovely and clear. And I do that's what I like. The M88 round there, roundabout there is an M88 thing. Roundabout there is an M88 thing. Going to the TG. Oh, I messed up. Roundabout there, roundabout there. This one hasn't got so much there in the upper bass. That's kind of female low end. Roundabout there, still got that roundabout there, going to the old one. Roundabout there, going to the old one. Loves it there, doesn't it? Yeah, the roundabout there. I'm going to go to. Shouldn't be on. Hey, roundabout there, this is mine that I've been using. You see, it hasn't quite got that little push there, has it? Roundabout there's got the bottom end that I like. Roundabout there's got the down there, going to the two. Go to the old one. Two. TG isn't as edgy there. I wouldn't say edgy, it's not as clear there, is it? I've got a mess here. That one goes there. So newest versus oldest that I have. In isolation it's he's a cheeky chappy, cheeky chappy. 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 He's a cheeky chappy, cheeky. He's a cheeky chappy, cheeky chappy. And I'm going to turn the TG up just a tad. I wonder if it's that. He's a cheeky chappy, cheeky chap makes so much difference to volume. He's a cheeky chappy, a cheeky chappy. He's a cheeky chappy. It's not a cheeky chappy. It's because this one's got that little bit of it's right about there. I can actually see it as soon as I hit that note. There. So this is a beauty. Gracias. Okay, let's go through the things. Let's go on to this other one just because there you can immediately hear that that's different. Yeah, I'm going to turn that up a little bit as well because I did my best with all this, but pops, S's breath, proximity. We know what the polar response is, and handling. So pops, people. Not bad. Remember, this came with a new top with the phone, which I've shown you. I would put the old one back on, partly because it's got my friend's DNA in there. Nice. But also because you can tell why. People. This one. People. If you're a little bit careful, you're going to get some pops. How can you eliminate them without altering the sound of everything, putting a brick wall in front of it? Considering it goes so low, very well, it's probably as good as it gets. People. Slightly different sound to the pop. People. But again, people. S's, sibilance. I don't think I'm particularly sibilant, seems okay to me. Sibilance, slightly sweeter, top end. Sibilance. Not quite as sweet as that one, still sweet. Sibilance. 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 Is that slightly coarser? These could be worn in, of course. Relaxed in. This is grainier. Could it be the foam? Back on this one only, I hope. Yes. Sibilance. Breath. Who are you? Who do you think you are? Who are you? Who do you think you are? Who are you? Who do you think you are? Who are you? Who do you think you are? A little bit of noise. I'm being clumsy. Who are you? Who do you think you are? Who are you? Who do you think you are? Who are you? Who do you think you are? This one, very good on that, apart from it's got a bit more of a woof than a woof, because of that, it's pronounced there, that thing that this one's got going on. Mine of many years. Who are you? Who do you think you are? Who are you? Who do you think? If you're going to be clumsy a bit, who are you? Who do you think you are? Who are you? Who do you think you are? Who are you? Who do you think you are? Who are you? Who do you think? I'm going to make sure that I'm not being prejudiced here, because, because I've done, I know it. So I've got to try and be very, very disciplined. Who are you? Who do you think you are? Who are you? Who do you think you are? Who are you? Who do you think you are? Worlds apart. Who are you? Who do you think you are? Back on Frankenstein. Stein. Proximity. Don't think we need to do that. You know, this one hasn't got much. Gets a little bit boxy. Might suit people without a low voice. Or, if you've got a muddy PA. Polar response. We know what it's like on a Beyer M88. Look at that. A little bit of leakage there because it's super cardioid, but around the side, very, very tight. These are superb mics, actually. It's probably, I think it's got to be amongst the best, if not the best dynamic that I've come across. And it's built in 62, not designed in 62. Handling. I have to take this one out. You'll hear it as I take it out. Now remember with this one that it's got more of this alloy type or something body. It's lighter and it's much smaller. So this one, a little bit noisy on handling. This one is the oldest one. Very well damped. This is the oldest one, and coming up to my stalwart. Well damped as well, maybe a little bit noisier than that one. Different frequency. This one's a much lower frequency, so that might cause you problems. So, but just be careful with your handling. Coming on to the TG. I'd say it's louder. It could be it's a different frequency. It's higher up. It's a bit nearer to this one. I would say, looking at those pictures I've put, hopefully, of the various Beyer reincarnations of this. So they've done, effectively, the limited edition. Not the classic. I'm a bit sceptical about the classic. I think the classic is a new one in a different colour, seems to me, with recessed XLR and looks like, it's only from photographs, I've never seen it, but it looks like much coarser. So it looks like one of the TGs. Alright, they needed to toughen up the grill maybe, did they? Okay, it's used for all sorts, bass drums, and it's a very well respected studio microphone. But I would say to them, okay, you made a limited edition one like this, from what I can see and from what you say. Please, forget the limited business. You need to charge a bit more? Okay, charge a bit more. The Shure KSM8 I think is around knocking on £400 in this country. I think these are about 280 knocking on to 300. So, fantastic microphone. Even though it's designed in 62, if it was somewhere between the price of that, it would be a bargain. But without all the poof, poof, poof and handling noise, make it like this, please. Can I ask? Thank you. Gracias. Adios.